Well, hello everybody and welcome to the Little Farmer's Farm with me, Tony. I'm in with the butter beans because they're coming out today, the butter beans. Now, if you've been following along, we made a massive mistake in this cage, whereas he kept the door shut, and so the pollinators couldn't get in until about 6 weeks ago when I opened the door and let them in. But all the while, through the growing period of these plants behind me, there's 5 butterbean plants behind me. And I would say for about 80% of their lifespan, they weren't privy to the attention of the bees, the pollinators. So you get these little flowers that you can perhaps see there behind me, little blossoms. And the bee goes in, pollinates it, moving around to the different blossoms, pollinates them, and then you get the seed growth, you get the seed pod growth. And because I hadn't opened it up until 6 weeks ago, about 90% of the blossoms didn't get pollinated. So I've not got very high hopes for these bean plants. If I get 100 beans off these, I'll be lucky. And I was hoping for a couple of thousand. And I'd have got that if I hadn't been thick. So try not to be thick, boys and girls. But let's see what we've got, because they've got to come out anyway. I'm going to take these plants out. They're not going to produce any more beans. And the beans that they've got on them are as big as the pods are going to grow. So we'll take those out. We'll take a look and see what we've got. And hopefully we'll get a meal out of them. All right. So here are the plants. And this would have been festooned with beans. And I'm struggling actually to find a bean pod to show you, to be honest. A decent bean pod. Because they weren't exposed to the attention of our friends, the bees. There are pods on, but there's not many. There's a pod. And that's got 1, 2, 3, 4 beans in it. There's one behind it with a similar amount, probably 3 decent sized beans. But as I say, because I'd left the door closed, the door was left closed to keep out the pigeons originally, and then it wasn't reopened in a stupid act of reckless abandon on my part, guys. But we'll see what we've got. If I get 100 beans off these, I'll be amazed. So yeah, because of stupidity, there's about 20 pods that were taken and harvested from those plants. There would have been about 200 at least if the door had been open and the pollinators could have got in sort of like June, July time and into August. You'd have had a good 200 pods off there with about 4 on average, and you'd have been approaching 1,000 beans there. As it was, I'll be lucky if I get about 60. But to the uninitiated, this is what they look like, the actual butter beans. So there's your pod, and I'll just gently open up that pod and show you what we've got inside. I think in that one there's either 2 or 3, maybe 3, maybe 4 actually, small beans. So yeah, those are 3 butter beans. Thought there were 4, but there were 3. About the size of your thumbnail. Some are bigger, some are smaller, but on average that is about the size that you get out of the butterbean pod. Once you've split it open, as you can see there's the butterbean pod. Excuse me, and those are the beans. Now, I've got a few. We have got a few, but I would suspect that I've got less than 50 beans there, and it should have been about 20 times that. Oh God! That's a good filled pod, isn't it? Imagine getting a couple of 100 of those. That would have been fantastic, that. 6 in that one. It's about 8 inches long. There's 6 in. I would say just over an inch in length for each one of those. It's a good filled pod, that. What a pity. A real pity that they weren't all like that. That's my own stupid fault. That I opened the door up basically at the end of August. You know, I mean, all the pollinators are, I'd say about 80% of the pollinators were no longer around then. You know, and through the back end of June and July and it's like about six weeks where the pollinators weren't allowed to get to those beans, and they were full of blossoms. What an idiot! You live and learn, guys. You really do live and learn. What a fool! So yeah, started off from saved bean seed. Excuse me. Started off from saved bean seeds about 6 months ago. In fact, a bit longer than 6 months, about 6.5 months ago. No, about 6 months ago, actually. Yeah. It was the beginning of April, I think, when I started them off. But they've been in the ground for, say, 3.5, 4 months. About 4 months they've been in the ground, taking up 6 square feet of space. And for all of that, we've got this. Yeah, about 3 ounces of usable butter beans. I think you could call that an absolute catastrophe, boys and girls, that. All because I'm an idiot. So try not to be a fool. Nobody likes a fool, especially an old fool. So there you go, you live and learn. I'm going to open plant those next year. I'm going to plant about 20. 10 aside, open planted on the lady farmer's side, and we're gonna take it from there. Whereas I started these, I think around the beginning of April. I'm gonna start them probably the end of March as seeds, as bean seeds. End of March. In here, in the polytunnel. Probably within the cold frame, and then get them out about mid-April, because I think it was like around mid-May when we put them out last time. So I'm going to start them, put them in a bit earlier, get them out a bit earlier, weather permitting. And see how they get on from there, but open plant them so that the pollinators can get right to them. I think that's the key, because last year when we did those from 2 plants, I got about 5 times that from 2 plants, and there's a good 5 plants worth. So I would have got a lot more. I would have potentially I was hoping this year to get about 1,200 beans, and I've got about 50. So yeah, if I plant 20 plants out, fingers crossed, I'm hoping to get about 4,000 beans next year. Which would be good. It'd be certainly a lot better than that. Alright guys, but it's only, even then, you know, you're only talking about 4 or 5 pounds in weight of actual beans. About 4 or 5 pounds in actual weight of beans. Couple of kilos of beans, but that's what it takes for fresh organic. I've got a load of beans at the house, shop bought ones, so I'm going to do the Greek Gigantes recipe again, because that was fantastic. And if you saw it last year, it's in the playlist actually. If you saw that Greek Gigantes recipe that we did last year, check it out if you can find it. Little Farmer's Farm, Greek Gigantes beans. Just put that into YouTube and you'll find it. But they were absolutely superb. That meal that we had, we only got 1 meal out of them 2 plants for all of us. It was a big one. In fact, I think we got a couple of days worth really of food out of it, because I froze it, some of it. And but it was worth it, you know. It was worth it for two, because that was off 2 plants, and that's what I was hoping for this year. We'd get like 4 or 5 meals worth out of it, you know. Anyway, with the 20 that I'm going to be open planting and tinkering with next year, I've got my fingers crossed. Nil desperandum. I've got my fingers crossed that we can get a good crop next year of the butter beans, because they are lovely, absolute. The Greek Gigantes recipe, check it out on the channel. Make that recipe, even if you've got to get shop bought dried beans and rehydrate them overnight. Do it, because it's well worth it. Absolutely beautiful. That one of the best, certainly the best vegetarian meal I've ever had in my life, without a shadow of a doubt. It was absolutely beautiful. So try it out. I'm hoping for better results now, boys and girls, off the tomatoes. So we're gonna go next door now to Cheeky Tunnel number 2, to the Lady Farmer's side, and we're going to check out what we've got on the tomato plants and do a bit of a harvest on those. The last of the Sun Gold, we've got some Red Plum, and we've also got some Super Sweet 100. So we'll see what we've got. There'll be quite a bit of splitting, but I'm hoping we're going to get a better harvest than we've just got there. Alright, see you in a bit. Right, so this is probably going to be the last picking, I think, on the tomatoes. You can see there's a bit of splitting, although they're not too bad. And these are the Sun Gold, but they're not going to get no better, these, I don't think. So we're going to get what we can from the Sun Gold. And we've also got some Super Sweet 100. I was checking the cucumbers, and there's only one really, and it's not too spectacular. A bit late in the day for cucumbers, but there's one there that we can skin and do something with. But they're all died off now, Luke. There's a big fat one there that's gone over the top. Well, they've done really well this year, the cucumbers. We've had about, from each plant we must have had 20, and there's 9 in. We've had a lot of cucumbers off those this year. They've done us proud. There's some Corno de Toro Rosso, or whatever they're called here as well, the peppers. And I'll be checking them as well today, because they're not going to get any better, I don't think. I don't want the bugs getting into them. So I'm going to check the reds and the greens off those. See what we've got, because they're already starting to be attacked. Look at that, it's been attacked, hasn't it? Slugs, I bet that. And some of the other cucumbers there. Coming to the end of it for these types of veggies at the moment. That's going to come out as well. That's not looking too spectacular, really, that. It had an overabundance of fruit, but they were too tightly packed together, as you can see there. So, should have thinned them out, really. We'll see what we can get. Anyway, I'll get these Sun Gold off, because they're beautiful. So we've got nice punnet of the cherry tomatoes there. We've got the butter beans. We've got the Corno de Toro Rosso. Peppers. There's another little bell pepper there, the last of the bunch. And then we've got some plum tomatoes there as well, and the cucumber at the back. Not a bad little haul. Could do. In honesty though, I think that's the last of it. That'll be the last picking, I think, from inside the polytunnels. We're going into November now, you know what I mean? So it's about the right time. All this is going to be cleared out and composted. I've been clearing out in that brassica cage down there, I'll show you. Absolutely love this brassica cage, me. It is a revelation, and it's a fantastic growing space. I can leave that open now. There's no cabbage whites about. But yeah, this is the remaining brassicas that are in here, which are your curly kales, tree kales. As you can see, they grow like trees. Dinosaur veg, the little ones used to call it. But I've only got the kale in here now. We took the last of the cabbages out a couple of weeks ago. But it's done fantastically well, this cage, this year. Absolutely fantastically well, this cage. Really good. We've got, we had the broccoli all in this bed. Broccoli and calabrese. Purple sprouting broccoli and the green calabrese. all in that bed. And in these beds at the back we had the kale in these two beds. These are actually flopping over from this bed into that bed now when the wind's got to them, but they're still in good condition, most of them. Pull a couple of leaves off the manky. Trouble is, at this time of year we're infested with the whitefly, so I must be mindful about that really, because I've got to be taking a bit more of this. I'll need to take some more of this so that the whitefly don't destroy it all, like they are doing. Well, I just spotted that. The other ones didn't seem too bad. That green lush vibrance is the tail of the tape with most of it, but there is fly infestation, whitefly infestation. You can see that on the back there, and that'll be on those leaves as well. But it's not actually affecting the quality at the moment on the top leaf. So all you do is you take it home, you wash all that off, because it's not poisonous or anything. You're not going to get any pathogens from it, but you wash all that off and do what you need to do with the old peasant's cabbage. There are lots of recipes for it, kale, and it's a highly nutritious plant, kale, in the brassica family. Really, really good. Full of phytonutrients, all the cancer fighting and heart beneficial stuff, which is what we need, guys, isn't it, going forward? Right, here we go. Well, it's being composted. I've actually took all the leaf fall from in here, because I've not been down for a couple of weeks. I've been taking it and putting it into these composting bins. If you look at this one, practically full. It'll go down to half this size once it all rots down. It'll all rot down and be about half that size. But I'm going to keep topping that up this year until December. Get rid of all the rest of the weeds and stuff, because I've not had a chance to come down very often this last sort of month or so. It's looking in the right state. That's why I've not been putting up too many videos, I'll be honest with you, because I've not had the time. Started a new job, you see, and I'm just trying to find my feet with that now. And on the weekends I've been spending the time with the kids and the missus. And the dark nights are coming through as well, but I am going to be coming down every Saturday, I think, now, all through the winter, to do the winter jobs. The roof on that needs sorting out, because we've got a leak around where the skylight is, so that's got to be fixed up. I've got the little shed on the lady farmer's side, the black shed of death. That's got to be sorted out, because that needs re-roofing, and probably it needs taking down that and rebuilding, to be honest. That might well happen, to be fair. I've got composting to build over that side at the top. Get that top end sorted out, because I need a lot more area for my composting. I might get about 3 or 4 bins and then build another compost corral up there. And then this needs sorting out, because I've got to get some glass put in there, which I've actually got, but it's not glass. It's 6mm clear twin wall polycarbonate, the same stuff that I built the little greenhouse with up at the top. That one, and that's clear twin wall polycarbonate. I've not been in there this year really. Absolutely overgrown with bindweed and nettles, I'll bet. I'm not even going to look. It'll upset me if I go inside there, so I'm not even going to look. But this was the first structure that I built on the allotment, this, and it's still standing the test of time now, 8 years later. 8 years I think we've been on here now. And it's the clear twin wall polycarbonate, but that's going to get a lick of paint as well this year, over the winter, as is the cheeky hut down here. Probably these as well, both of these polytunnels, the trampoline framed polytunnels that we built, and the tiki hut down here. I'll close this anyway, just to keep the cats out and what have you. The allotment closer. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be installing another, because I can get another one in of these water butts. I'm going to get the last one there on the end. I'm going to rearrange these a little bit. The water capture that comes off the roof comes down the pipe and into there. But yeah, that needs sorting out. I'm going to give that a good going over this year. So there's plenty to do, and the weeding. But I'm going to be just trying to keep on top of the weeding and get it tidied up a bit. Because for me, that's always the worst part of this. There's a lot of weeding to be done and keeping things tidy. And sometimes I'm really good, and sometimes I'm really bad at that. More often than not, I'm really bad at it, to be honest. You have fits and stops, you know. But yeah, all that to come, boys and girls. Thanks for watching. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. It's Saturday night tonight. Don't get too drunk. Don't get too drunk, guys. Not good for you. Remember, take care of yourselves and each other and keep growing. Get wit your heads down. Toodle pip, tatty bye. God bless you, and we love you all. Bye bye now. See you later, guys.